we are 5 days away from fundamentally transforming the United States of America.
Two of my favorite political philosophers, Mao Zedong and Mother Teresa.
Who is going to step down so someone else can have power?
No more broken treaties. No more broken treaties. Give them the wealth. Give them the wealth.
Do you believe many of the people in the White House follow the beliefs of this revolutionary, this is James Madison, or this revolutionary, Karl Marx? You have to decide.
Hello, America, and welcome to the second installment of our special crash course in Glenn Beck. I'm Judge Andrew Napolitano. Many of you have written in and told us you missed a lot of programs and wish you could get caught up on all of the mind-blowing stuff Glenn's been talking about this year. This week is your chance. And if you're just tuning in for the first time, you picked up at the right time. Last night we learned all about the economic transformation of America. Tonight, the Cliff Notes version on the radicals that surround the president to help him fundamentally transform America.
Since the president has said in the past that the Constitution is fundamentally flawed, since this president has surrounded himself with out-and-out radicals, some of them are socialist, one of them was a communist, isn't it reasonable to ponder the question, what kind of transformation is he shooting for? I have pondered that question for many months, and I don't have an answer. But I've also pondered this. If you wanted to use emergencies, if you were that kind of person, if you were a radical, and God forbid you wanted to take control of a country because it was the right thing to do, the people were too stupid. In an emergency situation, what would you need control of? How would you do it? How could you make sure that you could just lock everything down? You could control it, and then you could transform it. This is just a list I've come up with. I mean, I don't know. Manufacturing and industry, financial, media, communications, the military, energy, and education. Got it? Education is really more long-term. If you wanted to have command and control, if you needed to control it, you'd need to do manufacturing and industry, right? You've got to control things like GM, Chrysler. You've got to gobble up as much, not that you want to, but gobble up as much as you can. Then you control labor. If you control labor, you control industry. Well, guess who controls labor? Unions. Unions have more power than the average American. You know it and I know it. The number one visitor in the White House is Andy Stern, the president of SEIU. Whose concerns are getting addressed first, his or yours? Let Barack Obama answer that one for you.
You will know who's on your side because I've been at this a long time. I've spent my entire adult life working with SEIU. I'm not a newcomer to this.
You know, let me go down to the next one. Energy. You know, wait until you see at the bottom of the hour. Global warming rates, dead last among the issues of the day with the American people. Dead last. But cap and trade is in the new budget. Wait until I show you the game. At the bottom of the hour, the president is putting phantom profits into the budget from an energy policy we're nowhere near, close to passing. What does he know that I don't know? I mean, I don't want to hurt Mother Earth, and I don't think you do. But yet, they're going to force us to go green. How? Cap and trade. Watch.
Under my plan of a cap and trade system, electricity rates would necessarily skyrocket.
What is that going to do to our financial system? How about media and freedom of speech? How about the internet? Any network who doesn't get the thrill up their leg when listening to the president is harshly declared not a news network. The diversity czar at the FCC wants people to, quote, step down so someone else can have power, end quote. President Obama has tried to intimidate TV pundits as an enemy of reform in the State of the Union address. And boy, look what they are trying to do to the internet. Grab power. Education. They're nationalizing the student loan industry. That's part of this. And education. Now, education is much longer term. Now, this would mean that from cradle to grave, The state would have a grip on our educational system, already loaded with anti-capitalist propaganda, progressive revisionist history. In normal times, it would be outrageous to think anyone in our government, anyone, would want to fundamentally transform us into anything but a better, freer society as our Constitution dictates. But we're not living in normal times. I want you to remember some of the radicals the president has placed around himself and some of the things that those radicals have said. Watch.
We're trying to use the power of persuasion. And if that doesn't work, we're going to use the persuasion of power.
No, we're going to change the whole system. We're going to change the whole thing. We're not going to put a new battery in a broken system. We want a new system.
We kind of agree with Mao that political power comes largely from the barrel of a gun.
You never want a serious crisis to go to waste.
We took names. We watched how they voted. We know where they live.
These are the people advising our president. You know about his other influences as well, Jeremiah Wright and Bill Ayers. Unthinkable. Unthinkable.
The Constitution is the fundamental law of the land, and everybody that works for the government takes an oath to uphold the Constitution. This government and this administration doesn't care about the fundamental law of the land. They want to change radically the way in which you live. They want to do it through changing manufacturing and industry. Why else would the government take over General Motors and Chrysler? They want to change it through banking institutions. Why else would the government force banks to sell their stock to the government when the banks didn't need the government money and didn't want the government involved? Why else would we have cap and trade? Do you really want a federal agent coming to your house to measure the thickness of the glass on your kitchen window before you can sell it to somebody that's ready to buy it? We have to watch out for all of this stuff because it's very subtle and yet potent ways that this government wants to take away our freedom and wants to enable itself to control our lives. Now, let's take a look at some of the other radicals that seem to have some pull with the president, the Black Panthers.
Media seems fairly disinterested in the Black Panther case that was dropped by the Justice Department and Eric Holder. This is incredible. Remember the footage from the 2008 presidential election. This is the new Black Panther Party members. They're standing in front of a polling location in Philadelphia, full uniform, wielding a police-style baton weapon. They are clearly trying to intimidate potential voters. They're calling people cracker. What are you doing here, cracker? Now, how many times have you seen guys in uniform with baton weapons in front of your polling place calling people cracker? Happens all the time, right? Well, a complaint was filed in the U.S. District Court in Philadelphia against Shamir Shabazz and Jerry Jackson. They're part of a national effort by the Black Panthers to station members at polls and intimidate. After the case was effectively won by the DOJ and then a default sentencing was imminent in May of 2009, the DOJ made the unheard-of move to suddenly file a notice of voluntary dismissal of the lawsuit for the two defendants. Wow, why would... Really? What happened here? There had to be some reason for the sudden turnaround, right? Some logical explanation. Because certainly our administration and our DOJ wouldn't accept this from white people, black people, Asian, it doesn't matter. You wouldn't accept this. This goes to the core of our republic. Maybe the defendants were unaware that they were standing in front of a polling location and it was a big mix-up. Unfortunately, we have the videotape. It shows that they did. So maybe you know what? Maybe they were just very, very sorry for violating Americans' rights and engaging in activity that African Americans of all people should see and be offended by. Everybody. I mean, how long did this country have to fight to stop this kind of stuff from white people doing it to black people? Stop. Okay, that didn't happen either. We're down to one. We're down to one other option. Maybe these guys just really, really hate white people. Now that's presumptuous for me to say, but warning if you have kids in the room, this is pretty disturbing stuff. Shamir Shabazz said that very thing directly. Here it is.
I hate white people. All of them. Every last iota of a cracker, I hate it. Because we're still in this condition, man. We didn't come out here to play today. There's too much serious business going on in the black community to be out here sliding through South Street with white, dirty, cracker whore on our arm. You want freedom? You're going to have to kill some crackers. You're going to have to kill some of their babies. Let us get our act together.
I think it's pretty clear he hates white people. If that's not the definition of a racist, I don't know what is. He doesn't just hate all of white people. He hates, he doesn't like one iota of them. In fact, he wants to kill them and their cracker babies. Now I'm really having a hard time with the Justice Department. They're letting this guy walk. I'm not an expert in justice, but I am a thinker, and this doesn't sound like justice. This doesn't sound like something that's going to bring us all together. There has to be some reason for the flip. Because seeing the video of the guy who wants to kill crackers and cracker babies, standing with a club outside of a polling location, really doesn't help the defense's case. So why drop it? Well, maybe it was a little favor for all of the support of the new Black Panthers that they gave Barack Obama during the election. I interviewed their top guy leading up to the election. It was one of the creepiest moments on TV. He at one point closes his eyes and starts to pray. And when I went into a commercial break, the floor staff said, "Oh my gosh, that was creepy." This is before we knew anything really about Barack Obama, before we really started digging into his past. Watch what he said.
If you had to understand that your ancestors had been in slavery and bondage for 300 years, that your ancestors had been denied the right to become policemen, firemen, attend schools, get mortgages, and face, how would you feel?
I tell you, I would feel so unbelievably proud that that country has made so much progress that the richest woman in America is Oprah Winfrey, and possibly the next president is also an African American. I'd feel pretty darn good that we've made an awful lot of progress. Obama's message is to come together. Yet your message, according to your website, is the trials of blacks only by all black juries, end of all black cooperation with police departments, and a separate country for African Americans. How is Obama your man?
Obama is my man because I believe he can change America. And I pray to Almighty God that America will listen to and follow Barack Obama, black or white or whoever you are. I say that Barack Obama is the true salvation for America, and to bring us beyond the negative and the nasty and the injustices that have caused persons like Reverend Wright or myself to speak out. Barack Obama, I pray, Glenn, that you will support him.
Yeah, his prayer didn't work out. He was praying that Obama would get us past the injustices. Well, isn't this case being dropped an injustice? It doesn't matter. Martin Luther King, content of character, not the color of skin. It doesn't matter what color someone's skin is. This is an injustice. Why would Barack Obama want to side with the Black Panthers, who were clearly intimidating voters?
So, intimidating voters is obviously a crime. Intimidating voters with a weapon is even more of a crime. Intimidating voters with a weapon because of the color of their skin is obviously a federal crime. You saw that tape. Why wouldn't the federal government prosecute those? What other radical groups are in tight with this administration?
Let's look at the circle of influence of this president. Everybody knows about ACORN, right? ACORN. How do they get things done? Well, they intimidate. This is why our banks were in so much trouble. They intimidated the banks. The same kind of intimidation that was happening here with the Black Panthers. Now, the president has made it clear that he is walking in lockstep with ACORN. Watch.
And I definitely welcome ACORN's input. You don't have to ask me about that. I'm going to call you, even if you didn't ask.
Okay. So, remember Bertha Lewis. She has upped the ante here recently. This is what she said in a speech.
It is going to dwarf the internments during World War II. They are coming, and they are coming after you.
Okay. Small government people, like Tea Party people, are coming after and in turn, like World War II, which was a progressive president.